It's lights out, we are racing in this wet Thai Grand Prix here in Thailand, and what a launch away by Jorge Martin. He has got the drop on the field. Fabio Quartararo with a sensational start on the factory Yamaha. He's immediately briefly up into second place. Bastianini's going the wrong way on the factory Ducati, coming out of the first corner, as now in the spray goes Bagnaia trying to close in on Martin.
That was contact with Marquez, I think, on the way out of turn one for Eddie Bastianini. That was a very good start.
Martin
Martin. I just hope from his point of view it wasn't too good. It looked borderline to me.
He's gone wide though into turn three. They go side by side. They rub elbows, do the top two riders in the World Championship. You can hear the roar of the crowd. They are on their feet. Martin closes the door on Bagnaia going into turn four. Right foot off the peg there for Bagnaia as he tries to force the issue, tries to get to the front of this Grand Prix.
Well, track position is important in a dry race because of the tyre temperature and pressure. It's important in a wet race because you have no spray and no issues of visibility up ahead of you. Jorge Martin has seized the high ground on this first lap.
Quartararo starting from the back of the second race. Sixth place, another scare there for Martin. Big switch. Oh, out of the seat goes to Gian Antonio on this Bezzecchi on the 72 bike. He drops back through the field. All the spray causing major visibility issues. Further down, he's out of the seat again there, is Bezzecchi. This has been a torturous first lap for Bez here in Thailand. Martin was also out of the seat, wasn't he, coming through turn 7. This is a tiptoeing through the treacherous conditions here right now in Buriram. Martin at the front of 143.2. Further down the field, a whole bunch of riders doing 46s and 47s as Acosta runs off the circuit at turn 3. That's where he went down in the sprint yesterday. He's going to lose a whole bunch of places, but the riders mid-pack having to contend with the lack of visibility. We're losing 5, 6, 7 seconds compared to your top 3.
And the damage on that first lap for Eddie Bastianini was such that he's dropped to 12th place. This is Morbidelli battling with Acosta, who's rejoined in 7th place, but Eddie Bastianini's hopes of a Buriram double already look remote.
Yeah, outside of the top 10 then he goes. No jump start has just come up in our commentary box window then, so no jump start. Martin absolutely nailed it, didn't he? Fastest rider on circuit, shock horse, surprise, surprise, factory KTM star Jack Miller, a 140.897. Miller up to 7th place, first and only rider in the 140s.
Yeah, Morbidelli quick 2, just up ahead of him. He's doing a low 141. Martin 41.3, must have lost some time with that moment. Marco Bezzecchi has gone down at the first corner, so it's going to be a weekend where he loses his teammate for the rest of the season, Fabio Gian Antonio. But Marco Bezzecchi has lost the front pretty early in this encounter.
Giving a close eye on the progress, though, of Miller, who's latching himself now onto the back of this battle between Morbidelli and Quartararo. And Morbidelli, the contact cleans out Quartararo on the infield section. Friends sometimes in MotoGP accused of being perhaps a little bit overzealous, a little bit over-aggressive. The stewards are going to look at that one very, very closely. Miller now down to a 140.448, 3/10 faster than your race leader Martin, a 10th quicker than Bagnaia, and now Martin's off the circuit. Martin runs wide, big mistake on the front end then into turn 3. Martin drops in behind Marquez, he loses the lead, and now he's back in 3rd place, and now he has to deal with the spray behind Marquez's Marini Ducati.
But it looked like he was going to lose the lead fairly soon anyway. Bagnaia really caught him on that last lap, cut the lead in half through the first sector. It was only 2/10 through the first sector, and Martin made the error, so he now slots in behind Marquez. Bagnaia's lead is a full second now.
Martin then is the first to blink here in Buriram. Big mistake as he went into that turn 3, an easy mistake to make when you're carrying so much speed into that bottom gear braking zone. Morbidelli then off the Quartararo Christmas card list. Irresponsible riding.
The yellow flags have now come out in the second sector. I can see it in the distance over at turn 3. So someone has gone down. Morbidelli into the long lap penalty loop. Lorenzo Savadori is the rider who's gone down at the end of the back straight.
So through the long lap penalty loop goes Frankie Morbidelli. I tell you what, that is some impressive long lap from the Italian who sweeps in front of Maverick Vinales' factory Aprilia. So Morbidelli then drops back down to 8th place.
bottom left of your corner of your screen is what happened to Raul Fernandez. We lost Fabio Quartararo there earlier on, although that was all down to Raul Fernandez himself.
Morbidelli's crashed out just some moments after Brad Binder ran wide. Frankie Morbidelli's electric pace in the 139s is just too fast for the conditions. Morbidelli goes down at turn 8. Is that his race over? He's already been through the long lap penalty. Into turn 8, Morbidelli goes. He was just picking up the throttle there, wasn't he? Again, Frankie Morbidelli did take a little bit of weight off that front tyre. Turns 5 and 6, and now Marquez is right on his rear tyre. Martin also coming into contention. The 3 Ducatis at the front have broken the KTMs of Miller, Binder and Acosta behind. Marquez, is he going to be close enough here to maybe launch attack? Somebody's gone down our headsets.
Yeah.
Somebody has gone down. It is Enea Bastianini, the beast, has crashed out of this Grand Prix. Back at the front, Marquez, is he close enough to send it on the inside of Bagnaia into turn 12? You bet he is. Marc Marquez has made so many great moves here down the ears. He's going to run a little bit wide though, side by side. The crowd are on their feet here in the main grandstand. It's advantage Bagnaia after we start lap 10. Martin, just off the back of your top 2, fastest rider on circuit, 1:39.841. Oh, what a thriller we have building here in Buriram. On board then with Bagnaia, who you have to say in this pressure cooker situation is delivering a top ride here, as only a world champion can do. Bagnaia then at the moment just under 0.4 of a second clear of Marquez. Here's a replay of Enea Bastianini's demise here in Buriram.
Yet again, it's turn 8, isn't it? We've seen now 3 riders go down through there, and with that, Enea Bastianini drops out of mathematical world championship contention.
Marc Marquez trying to take 5 hugely important World Championship points away from your current race leader, Pecco Bagnaia. His wife Domitia looking on, fingers crossed inside the factory Ducati garage. Marquez! Oh, he's gone down! He's tried so hard, so desperate he was to save that front end slide. It was gone for so long. I thought he'd saved it on his elbow and his knee, but gravity took over, and Marc Marquez then tips off out of turn 2 here in Thailand. Boy, did he fight to keep control. Marc Marquez crashing then, and then we're going to see a moment shortly thereafter. Oh, dearie me. Oh, sad sight. Oh, that young fan absolutely heartbroken as his hero crashes. Whoa! Wow. 7.5 long laps remaining here. Such demanding conditions, such a test of your mental fortitude. Physically easier, of course, without the hard forces of a dry Grand Prix here, but maybe more easier for the body, but certainly tougher for the brain. An examination at the moment that Bagnaia is passing with flying colours. Binder coming under the cosh here from Acosta, isn't he? This is a battle for 4th place rather.
Pedro Acosta visibly faster than Brad Binder, who we have seen making 1 or 2 errors earlier on in the race. We saw that moment coming through turn 4, which dropped him away from his teammate Jack Miller.
Binder still holding on to that 4th spot.
And while Di Giannantonio continues to catch them just behind in 6th, Di Giannantonio is not catching them at the same rate as he was earlier on. He only took a couple of tenths last time around. Acosta's patience has now finally ran out as we come into the second of those consecutive left-handers of turn number 5. Clean move from the former Moto2 world champion. I guess we should now call him, and he's now through into 4th place.
Back with your race leader, Bagnaia, 1:40.6. Still very fast and consistent pace. In fact, he took half a second out of Martin on that last lap. Acosta then, having had to make the move on Binder as well, was quicker than Jack Miller ahead of him, not by much. A 1:40.7 from Miller, 1:40.6 from Acosta, despite the moment shortly after he passed Binder as well. So this very much, you feel, is game on for Acosta and the top 3.
The pair of them were considerably quicker than Jorge Martin up ahead too in 2nd place. Martin, you saw the concentration in the eyes of the World Championship leader. There's confirmation on your screens that Augusto Fernandez is down, but his teammate Pedro Acosta has 2 laps to try and deny Jack Miller a podium here.
Just over 9 kilometres remaining here as the Gian Antonio sweeps across the nose of Binder's KTM into that first corner. The Gian Antonio's had a stunning ride here. He's now up into 5th place. Mari Vinales late on has just found his best lap of the Grand Prix, 140.283, going a long way around the outside of Jack Miller. Goes Pedro Acosta. They're going to rub shoulders, aren't they? Rub fairings on the exit of turn 3. The 2 RC16s go side by side on the drag race now to the blind entry turn 4. Miller toughing it out. He goes around the outside of Acosta in 2-4. How much do these two want a podium here in Thailand? Well, this is how much. Acosta now flings it on the inside of Miller into 5.
Supreme bravery, but also supreme skill between Jack Miller and Pedro Acosta. Acosta will now have the inside line for turn 7. He's back on the inside. This is all potentially playing to the hands of Fabio Di Gianantonio behind him in 5th as he now joins this podium battle.
Can there be a farewell podium for Fabio Di Gianantonio? Well, he's right in the hunt, isn't he, there in 5th place. Bagnaia on the last lap, clear and charging towards the biggest win of the season without any question for the world champion. Acosta half a second clear of Miller in 3rd.
You've got to say the top 2 are both doing what they need to do. Bagnaia had to win. Jorge Martin just has to finish behind him and do that from here on in to win the world championship. Much easier said than done. Jack Miller, I think, has now lost his grip on potentially finishing on the podium because Acosta has motored clear and Jack Miller now goes way clear of the apex. He'll pick up a good slingshot there on the outside, but Di Gianantonio has taken 4th place.
That was tight as the Gian Antonio, Miller's furious. Miller for so long on the podium places here in Buriram, but he is fading out of contention as Fabio Di Gianantonio running out of time here to try and bid farewell to 2024 with a podium. He's put up a fantastic fight. He's had terrific late race pace here in Thailand, but I think he is going to run out of time. We follow Bagnaia then now into turn 8, which has called out so many riders in this Grand Prix. It so nearly caught out Martin seconds after we saw Marquez crash out of victory contention. Some victory this will be in Buriram for Bagnaia. Through turn 10 he goes, 2 corners remaining. He's going to take the victory here surely in Buriram. He's going to narrow the advantage back to Jorge Martin, down to 17 points. He is still fighting tooth and nail for this 3rd MotoGP World Championship. And Bagnaia wins here in Buriram. He gives it the big fist pump to his factory Ducati crew. Jorge Martin does take 2nd place. What a huge 20 points that could be in the final reckoning for the World Championship leader. Mathematically now, we have just 2 title contenders remaining.